Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have David. David is from Sydney in Australia. So let's see what David has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello, David or Charlie?
David.
Hello, David. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time on Saturday night for the interview. Sunday night. Yes, Sunday night already.
No, that's all right. It's good. It's a pleasant end to my weekend.
Amazing. So, David, tell me, how was your day so far?
Yeah, it's good. I slept in because I had a bit of a fun night last night, and then went to the gym, did some laundry, just basic housework. Nothing too exciting.
And tell me, where are you from, David?
Me? Well, I grew up in the hills in Western Australia.
Okay.
And 7 years ago, I moved to Sydney, just for a change of scene, and because I don't know, why not?
And why Sydney?
I moved to Sydney because I wanted to try and see what else was happening in the art scene in Australia.
Okay.
And my understanding was that either Melbourne or Sydney was the place to go.
See.
And Melbourne's freezing cold, so I thought, why not Sydney? So yeah, I moved here with my best friend, and we thought we'd see how it goes, and we're still here.
How long have you been living there for?
Gosh, since 2015. So yeah, it's sort of been a while now.
I see. And what's the best part of waking up Sydney every morning, in your opinion?
Ooh, it's knowing that depending on whether the weather's good or bad or what you're up to, you can, if you want to do something cultural, there's museums and there's great restaurants and fun bars. But also if you want to go out and be in nature, you can drive up to the mountains, or, the beach is literally just around the corner, so you can go for a swim. There's just so many options about what you can do with your day. And I don't know, that makes you feel really liberated, I guess.
I see. And do you see yourself living there for a long while?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm very happy here right now, so I can see myself living here for the foreseeable future. But I'm also really excited by the idea of, the unknown and what could be around the corner that we're not anticipating. And if, things get offered or chances come up, I'm really excited about the idea of accepting them to see what happens next. Yeah.
I heard once that sometimes not knowing, it's a powerful place to be.
Oh, absolutely. Well, in that case, I'm a powerful person because I spend most of my life not knowing.
So, David, I know you are an artist. So tell me a little bit about your career.
Goodness. So I started studying art straight out of school because I was pretty sure that that's what I wanted to do. But I wasn't sure what kind of art I was interested in, which again, as you just said, not knowing is a pretty wonderful place to be. And I ended up landing on photography completely by coincidence because I just like the tangibility of the medium and how it gave you an excuse to sort of involve other people and create experiences to document and be out in the world, because as much as it's fun to sort of be in the studio alone doing your paintings or sculpting and stuff, it's also, I think, enjoyable to have the unpredictability of going out and photographing people and see what they can contribute. And from that, I've been privileged enough to be exposed to lots of other talented, exciting people that have wanted to work with me, which has given me the opportunity to travel to really excited places around the world and work on really fun and exciting collaborations. And I don't know, it's that thing of just being open-minded and seeing where it takes you, and being interested in what other people are doing as well, I think is key.
I see. So mostly you photograph people?
Mainly people, yeah. It's funny, as I get older, I'm becoming more and more interested, I think, in, I don't know, other things, landscapes, places. One of my favorite artists and photographers, Sally Mann, I remember when I was much younger, watching her talk about how her photography started as, the figurative stuff of people that are very important to her. And as she got older, the figure got smaller and smaller in the frame until they vanished. And I remember wondering if that was same thing was going to apply to me, and yeah, it is. It has.
Yes, I believe that when you do something with passion, there's always other, ways of exploring your passion as well, and other opportunities will come, and you just explore different areas. I think that's what makes beauty our passion.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Absolutely. Right, David, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yeah, exciting. Let's do it.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best. Full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question. Let's do it. Amazing, I like someone join me dancing. David, through the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, I always can change, okay? Very friendly.
Absolutely. Sure.
First question is, what makes you really angry?
Ooh, what makes me angry? I think lack of empathy. I think the most conflict is caused by people not taking the time to understand the angle or opinion that other people might be approaching a situation from. So it's super easy to spend your time, placating yourself by surrounding yourself with people that believe the same things as you and think the same things as you. But I also think there's a lot to be gained from also associating and having friends with people that challenge your ideas and beliefs, because it helps sort of exercise your mind so that when it comes to bigger world things, it makes you a better negotiator because you can understand why people are coming from where they're coming from, and you can explain to them where you're coming from. And I get angry when you see, situations where there is unavoidable conflict, drama, and violence based on people just not wanting to spend the time to get into someone else's headspace or understand someone else's experience.
Do you believe that since, those 2 years that the world's being facing the COVID crisis, you think people nowadays, like at the moment, do you feel that they are more approachable, they are more relaxed, or there are a lot of conflicts going on, in your opinion, do you think?
I would like to be optimistic and say that now that people have spent so much time sort of experiencing, I guess, a kind of whiplash from trauma that they've been placed in and have sort of been going through together, I would like to think that we sort of have more empathy and understanding for each other. I do get disenchanted at how quickly people go back to their old way of thinking and behaving once they become comfortable again or feel like they have the upper hand. So I think it's just something to keep an eye on. I have been pleasantly pleased with seeing how people come together in times of crisis. So I'm not sure. I think humanity just sort of continues,
Yes, I think there are moments when they are more kind of, feeling, okay, they can be more approachable regarding people. Sometimes as well, you can see people just busy with their lives, you know what I mean? They don't focus too much in other people's lives, I believe, as well.
Definitely, definitely.
Next question, let's do it. Okay, David. I see Dave I can see Charlie, Dave in your things are confusing me in your thing.
I'm gonna keep you on your toes.
Okay, David, tell me, who do you count the most for help?
My family. I'm very lucky. I come from a very big, very supportive family, and I know that all of them are there for me when I need them. If I ever need anything, I can call on them and rely on them. I have 3 beautiful, very intelligent, very generous sisters that I can call on if I ever need anything, and both my parents are, have their own areas of expertise as well, and their own unique insights, and I know that that's something that I don't want to take for granted, because I know that there are a lot of people in the world that don't have that privilege, and I feel, and that's why I value family so much as well, because if I'm ever in a tight spot, there's always someone who will pick up the phone.
Amazing. I think when you have the support of your family overall in your life, it's a big plus. I think, you know,
Definitely.
you feel safe and you feel secure as well, that whatever you're going to go through or you're going to face it, you know, there's a backup. There are people there,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean, backing up if something goes wrong, or just to celebrate your success and everything in life.
Yeah.
So all your family, they're back where you grew up, or some of them, they live as well in Sydney?
No, they were smart enough to all stay in Western Australia, which for the last 2 years has been a massive plus because it's one of the places that's sort of been least affected by the pandemic.
Wow.
So it's also been comforting while all of, you know, everything's been locked down here and the pandemic's been spreading. In the back of my mind, at least, there was that comfort of knowing that they were okay and most of their day to day was relatively unaffected compared to the rest of the world.
Amazing. Good one. Next question. Before the next question, as you mentioned before, that you realized very early age that you were born to be an artist, you know, the arts field. When was that? When was the moment that you thought, okay, I came to this world for this, to be an artist? There was a moment, or just through your life, you're growing up, you realized that?
I think that I didn't really understand what being an artist was until I was in my late teens, because when I was younger, even though I did a lot of artistic stuff, other people in my life were telling me, oh, you're going to grow up and be an artist. And I was convinced, I was like, no, I don't want to paint, you know, watercolor landscapes. Because in my head, I'm like, I believed that's what being an artist was. Until I had some really wonderful art teachers in high school that sort of opened up my eyes to what was happening in the contemporary art scene around the world, and that there were so many more mediums and forms of expression. And I just got really excited by that. I thought, well, this is wonderful. I definitely want to be part of this. And it was from there that I sort of I like the option and opportunity and chance to be involved in things that I might not have considered before. But that said, I've sort of been pretty determined that an artist is what I want to be. Yeah.
And when the photography it came into your life, when you started your career as a photographer?
I took photography as a unit in university, and I knew a lot of really talented photographers who worked traditionally in the darkroom and used analog cameras. And I believed that photography wasn't for me because it all just seemed too technical. And I thought, how dare I approach this sacred medium and sully it with my dirty fingers? And then, bit by bit, I realized that actually it's something that is approachable. And I was lucky enough to have a lot of people that responded to it very positively, to the point where people wanted to have exhibitions with me, or there were brands that wanted me to photograph, you know, their clothes or jewelry. And I realized that gave me the self-belief to go, this is something I can actually pursue. And I never really have fallen out of love with it. There, you know, everything, there is politics in every world and things that we like and don't like, but I keep coming back to it. I haven't abandoned it yet. So
good for you. Next question is, what is the silliest thing have you ever posted online on social media?
Ooh. I think any status update on Facebook from 2008 till probably 2013, because we didn't know how social media worked when it first came out. That was just how we thought it was like texting a friend. So we would post the stupidest things that out of context were either ridiculous or made us look very stupid, because we didn't have the literacy that, you know, the younger people of today have, where they very much, they seem to anyway, understand that you are creating a representation of yourself that isn't going anywhere. It's there forever. It's even though it's a form of expression, it's kind of also like your CV. Whereas I was only having this conversation with a friend last night, how we just had no idea, and there's these, you know, filthy footprints all through the internet when we had no idea what we were doing. And now I'm very tentative. I don't use Twitter. Facebook is just for keeping in touch with family, more because I don't trust myself. I post pictures, you know, I post photographs because I can trust taking photos, but I don't trust what I have to say not being read the wrong way or saying the wrong thing or just, sounding ridiculous.
totally agree. Nowadays, you need to be very careful what you put out there. You know what I mean? You need to be really, really careful because there are so many rules. There are so many things that you can come back to you in a negative way. So you need to be always really careful. I'm the same as well. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not, I'm on Facebook mostly to promote my channel, to work on my channel. I work on social media anyway. So that's something that I'm constantly there because that's my work. But I'm always kind of careful sometimes as well because you never know. You know what I mean? Everything you say nowadays, it can come back to you somehow. And posting as well is even more difficult because when you post it, it's out there. Even though if you delete afterwards, but you know, people can copy, people can just, there's it. You need to be very careful. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Next question. David from Australia. Next question is, what is the weirdest food combination have you ever tried? Do you like cooking? I understood already the best. I understand already.
yeah. No, I like cooking. I'm not a confident cook and I get bluffed very easily. If I'm around someone who I know cooks better than me, I always find an amazing way of messing it up. So no, I'm sure I'm very self-confident in a lot of other things, but I don't cook well.
It's funny you saying that because I'm the same as well. I'm exactly like you. I'm not good in the kitchen. Yeah, welcome to the club. So I'm the same club as you. And last weekend, a friend of mine, he's a chef. He works as a chef, and he loves cooking. He loves cooking. And last weekend, he came over and he spent the night here. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna do some black beans. It's very traditional Brazilian food, and he's Brazilian. So I said, okay, I'm gonna cook some beans today. And I look at him. He was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh my god, don't even mention anything. Let me do my beans. So I cooked some beans, some rice. We did some chicken as well. And after we were eating, he was like, oh my God, Will, your beans is even better than mine. I was like, really? He was like, yes. I was like, oh my God. I think you see sometimes, even though if you don't cook it, but if you put some attention there, it can come out something nice or people might like it. But I'm exactly like you. I'm not good at cooking. Very basic, yeah, like some pasta, very basic, but I'm not adventurous in the kitchen. And when I see people cooking, I go like, oh my God, it's so easy to do it. But when you don't have the hands, when you don't have the habit of doing it, you just don't have the thing in your mind. You know what I mean? People who like cooking, they can see different things and they can make up things easily. You know what I mean?
They've got the touch.
Yeah. They got the touch. Yeah, they got the touch. But yeah, I'm not. But never know. The older you get, sometimes you get more adventurous and try different things.
Oh, absolutely.
And in Australia, what's the let's say the traditional food in Australia or in Sydney? There's something that Australian people tend to eat a lot. I know there's a dessert that I think Christmas is quite popular.
Oh, pavlova?
Pavlova, yes, yes. But besides that, there's something that is very traditional in Australia. Any kind of food.
Ooh, traditional. I mean, I guess I mean that's a complicated question, I guess, because what we come to know as Australia is a mixing pot of so many different cultures that have come over, and then also we have traditional of the traditional custodians, their food that is there. So that's, I guess it really depends who you're talking to as to what has been the food that's passed down. I will answer though. I think barbecue meat, like seafood. Australia is very well known for its seafood because we've got all this coastline with this beautiful beautiful fish and all sorts of things coming out of the ocean. So yeah, I would say that. Even throw another shrimp on the barbie being the thing that we're known for, apparently saying. Seafood.
If there is some seafood or meat, which one would you go for?
Oh, that's a good question. I really like seafood. Cooked well, I really like seafood. Yeah.
Cool. Fair one. Next question. Okay, next question for you is, what's the biggest difference between you and your best friend?
Gosh. I mean, the only reason I'm thinking is because there's a lot of differences, and I think that that's an important part in having that's what I enjoy in having really close friends, is people that you understand each other, but or you listen to each other and you hear each other, but then also you have very different personality traits. I think that's the way people come to complement each other. It's the old opposite attracts adage. So I can't put my finger on what the biggest difference is, because there are a lot of differences. But I think that's why I'm very lucky to have maybe 3 people that I would consider my best friends, and we get on very well and can spend a lot of time together, and travel together in close proximity, literally on top of each other, and I think part of that is we're not too similar, because I think that people that are too similar tend to butt heads and argue a lot, because the things that annoy them in each other are the things that annoy them about themselves, and it tends to blow up. So
and they live in Sydney as well?
Yes, yeah.
See, and you're saying that you have 3 sisters. Do you consider them very close friends as well? Can you talk to them about anything?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's important. Yeah.
Very good. You are the youngest, in the middle, the oldest?
No, I have 1 elder sister and 2 younger sisters. Yeah, so I share the middle with one of the sisters, but so the second eldest.
Good one. Ready for another question?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Next question. Okay, David, next question is, tell us something interesting about yourself.
Something interesting. I can do a handstand on a horse. I think that's interesting.
Very interesting. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Have you been practicing all the time, or something that you can do easily?
I believe that it's one of those things that because it's about finding your balancing point. So when I was living in Perth, I used to ride horses all the time because my family has a lot of horses. And I learned to do it at a young age because, I was a hyperactive child that was just trying to figure out how to do different things. But I can still do it now after not doing it, for a year or so. And I think it's just that thing of once you can do it, you can kind of always do it. I'm a bit creakier than I used to be when I was younger, but it hurts more if you fall off. But I can still do it. Yeah.
That's amazing. And when you when you think about your hometown, where you come from, what's the best memories that comes to your mind, that warms your heart?
Oh, goodness. Spending time in nature with my friends and family. Like, I've got so many beloved memories of going on bushwalks, or like family holidays out in the country, or just picnics with my friends in high school. Like, just being outside in the sunshine, laughing, eating good food, just being with wonderful people that I really enjoy being around. It's one of the things that's so wonderful about where I come from, is that there is so much beautiful nature. The coastline is gorgeous. There's so many, the landscape is so different. You go down south, there are rainforests, and then you go up and there's desert, and there's just, and going on adventures with people and sharing that with people really excites me. I'm going back to visit in a couple of weeks, and I can't wait, because I'm lining up as many of these little adventures as I can when I'm over there.
Oh, sweet. Very nice. Next question. Let's do it. David, let's say that a client or someone come up to you for your job, for your professional job. What they're gonna expect? What should stand out compared with other photographers around? Is there something that they can expect from you, something unique or different?
Something unique or different. I think something that sets me apart from a lot of the other photographers that get approached for commercial work is because I have a background in studying conceptual contemporary art. Sometimes my references have a little more latitude in things outside of photography. I'm also incredibly receptive to what the client is after, because I learned early on that if you just go into it doing what you want, usually they've had something in mind that they are not sure how to articulate. So a friend put it to me really well the other day when we were working on a job. They said that it's difficult sometimes because with a client, they're trying to explain to you something that they can't visualize themselves. And I hadn't thought of that. So it's become this thing of sitting down and really trying to draw out of people what they're envisioning, because so often you try and create something for someone beautiful, and then afterwards that's when they come to you with all these pictures of references of how they would have liked it, but they didn't have those before because it didn't occur to them what it should look like until they're looking at what they don't want. So in a roundabout way, I guess I'm saying I'm very attentive to what they're after and, you know, what they would like beforehand, so that we can try and find something that speaks to both of our work, so that it's not redundant that I'm the one doing it. There's still some of my voice in it. But that said, they're feeling like I'm articulating what they need articulating in the work, whether that is for something commercial or whether it's, you know, for another artist, because I also do a lot of work working for artists that don't photograph their own photos. So yeah, it's very important to be able to tell a story or, you know, get a message across without railroading it with my intentions.
David, I had an interview with a photographer from South Africa, and he said something quite interesting. He said that when he's photographing people, it needs to be some connection. It needs to have some connection with the photographer for both feel comfortable and, you know, and get the final work. For you, do you think there's something that you do to connect with the person, or with when you're gonna do some job? There's a mechanism, or you just naturally just come with the flow, go with the flow?
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said go with the flow, because it's a bit like surfing or riding a bike downhill. You need to go with the current, you need to be reactive, you need to respond to the person as they come to you, because it's very simple to say, oh, have a dialogue beforehand or talk to them, but some people aren't verbal people. Some people express themselves in other ways. Some people, you know, you need to be quiet and receptive to. And so much of being a photographer, I think, is reading people but also responding to them, so that they don't feel intimidated by the camera or by the lens or by you, because I think that having a camera pointed in people's faces can be quite liberating. It gives them a platform to perform and to express themselves. But if it's come at them in a way that they interpret as aggression, then it's also incredibly intimidating. So it's about finding that tipping point, I think, to get the most out of someone. But usually I find that afterwards, you always walk away feeling like you know each other quite well, in a sort of spooky way, like when you've had a dream about someone that you don't know that well, but you wake up the next day feeling like you know them. There's that familiarity because you really are exercising looking at each other and being in each other's presence in a really tangible way that I think usually takes a lot longer when you're lightly interacting with people, whether it be at work or socially. There's an intensity there, I think, that amplifies the getting to know you period.
Amazing. Very good. Next question is, tell us a funny story or a moment that happened to you when you were a child at school.
When I was a child at school? What's a funny moment? My goodness. Funny haha or funny peculiar? Let me think.
Did you like school?
Oh, I did and I didn't. It really depended. It was quite divisive. So I'm dyslexic, so that made a lot of it just very difficult and alienating, because it wasn't until I was around 15, 16 years old that it was diagnosed. So before then, there were a lot of people that I say a lot of people, I mean my mother. My mother is incredibly dedicated, and she was putting a lot of effort into trying to figure out why I wasn't thriving the way that other people were. So she put a lot of work into helping me get tutored, helping me get assessed. But I think that the ability to recognize and assess those things have come a long way since, the early 90s. So I remember that there was just a lot of very tired teachers and people that just didn't want to take the time, either saying that I was lazy or I was stupid or all of these sorts of things, and not really hitting the nail on the head. So, I mean, I had some wonderful experiences at school. I had good friends. I really liked, art and drama class and stuff, but also it was incredibly frustrating because I couldn't understand why there were other areas that I was interested in, but just couldn't get my head around and couldn't thrive at. So Yeah, it's complicated. I mean, school's complicated for everyone. That
Yeah.
said, I do meet a lot of people that say, "Oh, it was the best years of my life," and that kind of depresses me. I'm like, really? It's the best is yet to come. You peaked so early. Like, yeah.
You go like, what's wrong with you? How come it was the best time of your life? My God, are you okay?
Kind of. Yeah, it's like, it's like it gets better. It doesn't like.
Say that. Who was your favorite teacher? When you look back, what was the teacher that you said, okay, that was somebody special, or for some reason you kind of connect with a teacher, if you can share?
Oh, look, I'm lucky. I had a lot of teachers that were wonderful, and really, like, I believe that a good teacher is such an amazing asset to society, because they give so much in inspiring and creating future for the people that they're working with. But I will pinpoint someone because they inarguably shaped the rest of my life. My year 4 teacher, Stephen Powell, he was the one that went, right, this boy is talented, he's creative, he's interested, and really channeled energy into going, he thrives in the arts, let's make him do more art. Told me about, and my parents, about the high school that you could get the art scholarship, and that's the thing that sort of funneled me into doing that, which took me into going to uni and studying art. So yeah, Mr. Powell, thank you so much. You really, yeah.
I hope he watched the interview. I hope he watched it. He's going to be very proud to know that he gave back somebody's life.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll make sure he watches it.
3 questions left for you, okay? Let's do it. Next question for you is, what's the most dramatic argument you ever had?
Most dramatic argument? Goodness gracious. Most dramatic. Look, I can't think of, I'm sure I've had like terribly dramatic serious arguments, but one that comes to mind, just because it's funny, is the most recent dramatic argument I had was with some friends. We were traveling back from camping out in the country, and we'd been driving for hours and stopped in the middle of nowhere. I picked where we were going to eat, and that apparently wasn't good enough. So everyone was heading off in different directions looking, and it got to a point where they started arguing about where to go. And then usually I'm pretty good at being even keeled, but I think I was just very hungry and very tired, and I blew up and snapped and was sort of like, we've made a decision, this is where we're meant to be moved, blah, 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 blah. And afterwards I was so humiliated because everyone was just like, okay, we can do what you want. The drama queen came out, and yeah, it was something that was not serious at all, but I managed to make the side of the road my stage, and I was putting on a show.
I think when you are hungry, oh my God, you just get very not too much temper. You know what I mean? Your temper just go low. You know what I mean? You don't have more patience.
Yeah.
You can go to 0 to 100 like that. Like you can go up and down like. 2 questions left. Let's do it. David, before the next question, tell me if you can share like one of your photography sessions that you had that was very special for some reason, that was unforgettable, something that you can share, something that always took to your head because of anything special that happened through your career.
Oh, for my career. So the first artwork that I made that was ever acquired by a major institution was 2011, and I was working in a pharmacy at the time, and I had been, during the day, because, I was skiving off and trying to do as little work as possible, I was flipping through books of just really striking photos. And I think it was Wednesday lunchtime, and I just remember thinking, I want to create a really striking image. I want to do something today that just really pops. And a friend of mine who was working around the corner, who I was fortunate enough to just be the kind of person that was up for anything, I ran over to where she was working, and I said, after work, come over to my house. We're going to take some pictures. And she came over after work, and I completely covered her in molasses, the horse food. And one of our horses came up and started licking it off her. And we got this beautiful photo where there's this intense eye contact between her and the horse is like licking this molasses off her. And then I had it in a group show, and the Art Gallery of Western Australia bought it for their collection. So that was yeah, well, one of those shoots where it just sort of like went bang, 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 and just it all worked.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I think all this art was genuine and it wasn't not expecting to be that big in the end.
Exactly, just something that seems like a bit of fun that you're not putting a huge amount of thought. You're just flowing. You're going in the flow state. You're like, right, let's just see what happens next. And
amazing, beautiful, beautiful. Next question is, what was your best friend name growing up, and why did you consider that this person as your best friend at the time?
Oh, my best friend growing up. Okay, so I'm going to cheat and I'm going to say two. One of them is Courtney Somerville, and our mums were friends with each other when they were pregnant with our younger sisters, but we were two at the time, so that's how we met each other, and we were like chalk and cheese. Just became best friends, loved each other, hung out all the time, and she's still one of my dearest friends. She lives in Melbourne now, but for a long time she was a flight attendant, so she was always coming backwards and forwards to Sydney, and any chance we got, we would spend with each other, and if either of us are in the other city, we still crash at each other's houses. My other best childhood friend is a gentleman named Adrian Pinto, and I met him in year 2. When he came to the school. It was my job to show him where the toilets and everything was, and we became very good friends. He's also an incredibly talented artist in his own right.
Wow.
And we went to primary school together, high school together. Then we went to uni together, sort of spent a few years in doing different things. And now he lives around the corner and we see each other every few days. So I'm very lucky, like these people that I've been close to my whole life, we're still very close, and I still get to have a lot to do with them, so yeah.
Oh, sweet. They're gonna be very happy to watch the interview and to know that as well.
Let's see if they do.
Ready for the last one?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Last question. David, before the last question, people watch the interview. Would you like to become a photographer or an artist? What would be your best piece of advice for those people?
Ooh. Best piece of advice is create without believing that there is gatekeeping, either in the creation of the medium or from the point of view of if you want to be a photographer, photograph using your phone, photograph using like anything. Don't think I need to have better equipment or better this, that, or the other. We're very lucky, most of us are now walking around with cameras attached to us all day. It's democratized the medium. Express yourself with whatever you have available to you. You know, try different things. Don't be scared to be the person that is asking questions or doesn't know as much. And admit to yourself if you want to know more, so you can sort of like progress if that's what you want. You can stay sort of like shooting the same way that you want to, but don't be scared to go, oh, I want to know more. I want to try different things. And same thing for being an artist. Don't take advice. Listen to everyone. Listen to all the advice. Listen to everyone's opinions, but also be very careful taking the opinions. There's a lot of people who will tell you that there is only one way of doing things, or one way to be an artist, or one way to promote yourself, or one way to be seen as an artist. And so often you'll be told, don't do this. You won't be taken seriously if you do this. And sometimes there is some gems in there, but other times it's people just ferociously gatekeeping and wanting to be the expert of everything. And that might be their way of doing it, and that's perfectly valid and wonderful, but that doesn't mean that it's the right way for you. And you might be the one that carves out a new way of doing things and redefines that, be brave in that respect. Because I think a lot of people with huge amounts of talent and very valid and interesting opinions don't express themselves because they feel intimidated by what's already out there, and they absolutely shouldn't.
Very good point you said now. It's so true. There are so many people that they are very, they can do a lot, they are talented, but for some reason they are afraid or they step back because, the other artists, you just need to be, adventurous, I think. You need to be adventurous and try all the time. Be adventurous, don't be afraid, just do it, I think art is about that. It's about you express yourself, doing your work, you can go around. And yeah, cool.
Be brave.
Be brave. Last question is, what is your favorite place in the entire world and why?
My favorite place in the entire world? I've been very lucky. I have lots of favorite places to visit. But my favorite place in the entire world would have to be it's home. It's the bushland where I grew up. It's still beautiful, like it hasn't been developed, and I have so many happy memories there, and all of the smells of the trees and the river and the grass and everything, and it's just so gorgeous. It always makes me happy, and it makes me feel like I've come home, and that's my favorite place. Yeah.
Home is going to be always our home, our favorite place.
Exactly.
You can go around the world, you can travel, you can be happy still, but when you come back to your place where you were born, where you grew up, there's something there that's you. I've got goosebumps now saying that because it's so powerful, You find yourself there, you go like, my God, that's the place where I'm meant to be, or, always gonna be grateful for. It's so true, it's powerful. Okay, David, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words. Just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay? So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like. Don't forget to share this video. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Religion.
I mean, the first word, divisive. Divisive is what comes to mind. Yeah.
Politics.
Even more divisive. Important. It's very tempting to not want to engage, but you have to. We all have a responsibility to be politically minded.
Absolutely. One word for love.
Unconditional.
Money.
Necessary.
Family.
Important, the most important thing.
One word for sex.
Fun.
Fear.
Bravery, that's the first word that comes to mind. Yeah.
Friendship.
Family.
Passion.
Necessary.
One word for regrets.
Ooh. Fear, and that's because most of my regrets come about not doing things because I was scared to. Opportunities come up and chances come up, and you say no because you don't think you're ready, or you don't think you can, and that's where most of my regrets lies. Yeah.
One word for desire.
Passion.
Success.
Elusive.
Wish.
Happiness.
And one word for happiness.
Community.
One word for Sydney.
Oh, well, rainy at the moment, but that's because it's rained non-stop for the last 6 months. But yeah.
One word for Australia.
Home.
How about photographer? One word.
Ooh. Curious.
How about arts?
Expression.
And the last one, artist. One word.
Ooh. Mouthpiece.
Amazing. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee. Yeah, and I'm going to ask your best friend, what is the most beautiful thing about David? And what's something that he still needs to work on, to improve on? What do you say?
Ooh. So the most beautiful thing, I think, most beautiful thing I think would be loyalty, because I am loyal to my best friends. I am there when they need me. Things I need to improve on is, I think, being less erratic, being less hypocritical with my advice I give to other people. I need to take my own. Yeah, just being more organized, I think. Showing up on time.
If I would ask the same question to your lovely sisters, would be the same answer?
Yeah, but I think they would tell you that I need to learn to cook.
They know what they're talking about. They grew up with you, so they know very well. They can
Oh, they
speak.
know very well. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Let's play now, David, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask me a question, David, what, in your opinion, what would be the postcard of Australia?
The postcard of Australia. I mean, the postcard of Australia. Australia is such a big place with so many different identities. That's very difficult to pin down. I think just because it's something that would we recognize internationally and also resonates anyway. Somewhere in the red center, somewhere in the desert. Uluru is somewhere that's very significant and sort of speaks to Australia, but is also recognizable overseas. Yeah.
It's interesting you say that. When I think about Australia, the first thing that comes personally, of course, for me, it's the Opera House. I don't know if of course, I know about the landscape, you know what I mean, about the landscape, the beautiful. I'm from Brazil, so you know what I mean, there's always a beauty there, you know, nature. Sure. And the kangaroos as well, of course. But the first thing, the koalas as well. But when I think about Australia, the first thing that comes to my mind is the Opera House. I think it's somewhere I would like to go one day, and I'm sure I will. Can't wait.
You will.
You can ask me a question now, David.
Yes. What was the most meaningful birthday present you received as a child?
Oh my God. It's so funny you ask me that, David, because yesterday, I'm gonna be 40 this year, and I'm gonna go to Portugal with some close friends, because I've been living in Europe for the last 20 years, and I lived in Portugal. Was the Porto, where the place where I arrived, 19 years old when I arrived there, and I was thinking about that yesterday. Saying that, actually, and I was thinking about that, and as a child, I never had. I'm so glad I'm talking. I love the question because I was thinking so deeply about that yesterday when I was come back home after the gym, and as a child, I never had a birthday party. Yeah, never had, and it's interesting because as a child, I remember I was going to other friends' birthday parties, and I loved it. It was amazing. I just could feel the vibe. I felt like it was for me because it was so amazing. But I truly believe that when you are a child, what you don't have it, you don't miss it, yeah? So for me, I kind of understood that. I never had it, but I never miss it. My birthday was coming, or my mom was giving me some present, but I never had it. Somehow I knew it, you know what I mean? That for some reason, I wasn't able to have a birthday party. But saying that, when I arrived in Portugal, when I was 19 years old, I remember the first birthday cake I had. I remember I was with 3 or 4 friends, and I remember the taste of it. It was so powerful and meaning for me as a 19 years old when I turned 20. That's when I'm talking to you now, I can picture the cake in front of me, and it was so special because it was my first birthday cake. I wasn't a child yet, still, of course, I was an adult, but even though it brought me to those childhood memories, and I didn't have, it was so special, this cake, that I don't know, I'm talking to you and I can feel it, the taste of it. Amazing. So I know it's not as a child gift, yeah, but it counts because it was special. I have a picture, actually. I'm gonna look for it because when I go to Portugal to celebrate my 40 years old with my closest friends, and I'm gonna talk about that, actually. I'm talking in first hand with you now. It's meant to be a secret. I'm talking to you now. Anyway, hopefully they don't watch this interview in the end, so they're not gonna find out. But anyway, I'm planning to bring some pictures, and I was thinking about yesterday to get this picture with me in front of this cake, because it was my first birthday cake, and it was special for me, even though I was turning 20, but it just brought me to, be a child again. I just, with having this little celebration with 3-4 close friends, but having this cake with me, for me was like, oh my God, I felt like a child because I never had that before. So yes, it's so interesting you asked me that because I spent so much time yesterday thinking about that, you know what I mean? And I thought, oh my God, I think I'm going to talk about that on my birthday celebration this year because it was so special for me. And I'm going back to that place where I had my 20th birthday, and it was with this cake that, it's just memorable for me, you know what I mean? Amazing. My God, you asked me that now. How amazing. I just
How
love it.
fantastic. What flavor was the cake?
It was a Portuguese. They have, Portugal. They are very famous for like sweets, you know what I mean, pastries and this that. So they have this. It was the top of it covered in these eggs. It was a kind of yellow egg sauce. They kind of mixed with some sweets as well. But in the middle was just like a regular cake. But the decoration was Happy Birthday William, like in black, like in chocolate. But the color was yellow, like in this eggs thing. It was very sweet. It's very sweet. But I remember the taste of it. I remember because it was very special. So it was a very special birthday gift, my first birthday cake.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful.
It's so interesting you asked me that. Amazing. But as a child, David, I had, a lot of, like my parents, they, always give these very simple presents that I loved it. I remember I had all of them, these cars that I had as a child. But when I think about a special present for birthday, was my first birthday cake, for sure. Yeah. 20 years old.
I like it. 20 still.
I know. It's just, those presents, those celebrations that always stick to your head because for some reason it was special, you know what I mean? And this birthday cake was, a special cake. And I can't wait. Actually, good idea now. When I come back, when I go to celebrate my 40s, I might get the same one.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Yes, literally. I'll take a picture and send to you afterwards, okay?
Yeah, I have to see it. I have to see this picture.
David, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the interview?
This was wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for taking the time on Sunday evening. My God, it's so late there. You took the time.
My pleasure. This was lovely.
Before you go, if you can share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires you in life.
Sure. I think this is a positive message. It's something my dad says all the time. And I think it's just about like not trying to spread yourself too thin. It's you can't make all of the people happy all of the time. The best you can do is make some of the people happy some of the time. And I think it's just cut yourself some slack, do what you can, and don't take it too hard when people get shitty at you. It's sort of can't make everyone happy all the time.
No, it's amazing because imagine you can be the perfect person. There's always someone that's not gonna like or dislike you or not agree with you for some reason, and it's fascinating because you know what I mean. It makes you think, it makes you wonder why. You know what I mean? And you can do anything, but there's always someone. That's a good quote because make people happy when you can. You know what I mean? The ones you cannot make happy, it's fine. It's part of the joy. You need it as well.
Exactly.
David, thanks so much. It was a pleasure. Okay, regards and keep in touch. Okay, thanks so much. It was a pleasure.
That'd be wonderful.
Okay,
thanks so much. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website www.williamandthemagicbox.com and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show, and I see you there. Bye, see you next time.